Yeah, I know, right? Man, this streaming stuff is so cool. Every time I sit down and stream, man, people just throw money at me. I don't even have to work. I don't have to do anything. All I have to do is sit there in front of camera and play video games. It's a racket, man. I don't have to work at all. I've never done a single I gotta go. Bye. Hey everyone, how's it going? Hey everyone, how's it going? My name is Ryan Moore. This, of course, is the Game or Die channel. Man, we are gonna have some fun tonight. It is retro game night here on the channel, which means we're gonna go back to some classics. We're gonna actually go back to the arcade because that is one of my favorite time periods of video games, was back in the late 80s, early 90s, the arcades, which if you didn't grow up around an arcade, man, it's a bummer you missed out. Arcades were so fantastic. So what we're going to do is we're going to play some just fun, classic beat 'em up brawlers. We're going to play some of my favorites. We're going to play the 1989 classic Konami joint, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first one, not Turtles in Time. And then when we finish with that, we're going to move on to The Simpsons, because when I owned my game store, those were the two arcade cabinets that I wished and dreamed I could own. But I was actually able and fortunate enough and blessed enough to be able to actually own them myself. And I put them in the store, and it was so fun seeing people's eyes light up when they walked in, and they were just blown away by how they had the classics, or we had the classics in the store for people to play. It was a joy. So join me tonight, shall you, for the next installment of Retro Game Nights, and let's get started. Welcome in Baba Sticky, welcome in AB, welcome in Teddy, welcome in Faustism. Man, anyone else who's joining, welcome. I hope we have a good night tonight. Hopefully you can just shake off whatever's going on in your life, and let's just play some games. Let's have some fun tonight, shall we? Let's dive in. So we are going to start off with the Little Turtles, and let's crank it up. Yeah. Oh, is the Japanese version. All right. So what we're going to do, how's it going, Tyler? Welcome in. Bob, welcome in as well. So I don't know about you, but I love turtles. And my favorite turtle is, of course, Michelangelo. So we're going to play as Mikey first. As we progress through the game, we'll switch out.
Hang on, April.
Stream was good. Stream was good. Sakthi, how's it going? Welcome in. The stream yesterday was awesome. We played more Zelda, and we got really far. We got through the Spirit Temple. We got through, we got Minoru's Sage Power, which was the construct. And it was funny. I actually had kind of a hard time getting it all working for a while, but I was able to actually get it working after a couple tries. Once I figured out I needed to be kind of away from some of the items to pick up. But yeah, it was pretty awesome. I'm sorry, I didn't see what movie you mentioned. Are you talking about the new Turtles movie? The one that came out, I think, last year? I did not yet. I have not seen it. I've been so stinking busy that I just haven't seen it yet. My nephews love the Turtles, and that brings a big smile to my face, because I grew up with this stuff, and now they're growing up with a different version of it, but it's still fun. It's still Turtles. So we're gonna cowabunga all night long tonight, and we might have a cow as well. Just saying. We're gonna play some Simpsons Arcade after this as well. But we're gonna beat this tonight, because this is not that long of a game. It's probably about 45 minutes, all things considered. Oh, we gotta go save April. I gotta say, I love the classic Foot Soldier design. It is one of my favorites. No, this is on MAME. This is the classic arcade version. This is straight up a rip of the arcade board, which I used to own. I used to own the full real physical arcade cabinet of this game. Unfortunately, I don't have it anymore, which is a super big bummer. But that's okay, because I can still play it, right? Yeah. You just gave me an idea. I'm not going to say it on stream, but yes, it is cowabunga time. I was actually talking to my wife about it yesterday, technically this morning, about some stuff that I want to do, some plans I've got for streaming. But that's got to kind of come after the move. All right, we saved April. Oh no, Shredder took April. I don't think any... You know what? There's the Cowabunga collection on Switch and PC and all that that might actually have these. I'm not really sure. I don't have the Cowabunga collection. When's the next Zelda stream? So if you ever go to the Discord or on the website, gameordie.net, there is a schedule, and it has the schedule of every day that is streamed and what the stream is going to be. And you know what? Since we can kind of just do this really quick, if you take a look here, you'll actually see the July schedule for the month. And so this has the entire list. You can take a screenshot of this if you want to, or you can just look it up online later. But this actually has the whole schedule of what I'm going to be playing, or at least kind of the theme nights, because that's what I do. Is I have every night that I stream, which I stream every night, I do different shows. It's kind of like a TV program in a way. So tonight is retro game nights. That means we're going to be playing retro games. Tomorrow is going to be virtual reality Thursdays, and so I'm going to be playing VR games. Whether it's probably going to be Quake 2 tomorrow, because we're in the middle of Quake 2 in VR, and then the next day on Friday is going to be Streamer's Choice. Right now, since I'm loving Zelda so much, I think I'm going to be playing some Zelda on Friday. So probably on Friday. Oh, I do have Sniper Elite VR. I have played maybe an hour or two of it. I never finished it. That would be a great one to play. Yeah, no problem, Tyler. That voice. Help me. That is like ingrained into my memory. Yeah, I'm fairly positive I have Sniper Elite VR and I just never played it. That would be a great one. Yes, it's Sniper Elite. The one that I don't have is the Medal of Honor VR. I can't remember the subtitle of that, but the Medal of Honor one. Oh, nice. I really liked it from what I played of it. Oh man, I'm just dying here. I really liked what I played of it, but like I said, I only played maybe an hour or so of it. I never got really far. It was in the middle of me. I think we were in the middle of moving last time when I started playing it, so I didn't get a chance to really dive deep into it, but I do have it. That would be a great one to play after Quake 2. Hopefully we can finish Quake 2 maybe on the next stream, because I'm not digging Quake 2 as much as Quake 1, which is a bummer. the hole that I fell down in. Hey, who put out the lights? That's what I've heard. I've heard the Medal of Honor VR game is just kind of a little which is a bummer, because I love the Medal of Honor series, and I was so happy that they brought it back, but unfortunately they didn't bring it back well enough, I guess. Ooh, okay. Faustism, take care, buddy. Have an awesome time. God bless, and we'll see you on the next stream. Hey, babe. Yes, Bob, I absolutely will be playing Zelda more. Like I was just saying, on the schedule on Discord and on the website. If you go to the website, that has the schedule for everything. So every night you can tell exactly what the theme of the show is going to be. So Wednesdays we do retro game nights. On Thursdays we do VR. Friday is streamer's choice, which means, hey, I can kind of play whatever I want. There's no rules. I can just do whatever I want. If I want to play more VR, if I want to play more retro, whatever. Since I'm having so much fun with Zelda, we're going to be playing probably Zelda on Friday. Ah, dang it. I try to keep things fresh. I try to have a few games going on at once because that's just how I am. I do like playing through games, and I always will play through games, but it's just one of those things where I need to have a little bit of variety, especially if I'm not feeling a game, like taking a step back, like Quake 2 in VR. Taking a step back, I'm ready to get back into it. There's our first death of the evening. Okay, cowabunga indeed, Mikey. Cowabunga. Yeah, the transitions are cool. I like that. What's a good entry for VR? Give me 1 second here. Let me just kind of clean these guys up really quick. What would be a good entry into VR? I have a good PC and jailbroken PS4. I would say, without a doubt, the Quest 3. The Quest 3, because it is on sale right now, it is the cheapest headset. It's cheaper than buying it refurbished, and it's the best headset out there for both standalone and being tethered to your PC, wirelessly as well. If you go into the YouTube videos, I do have a why VR is awesome video. I don't really talk about the actual headsets, which one to buy or anything, but I do give a lot of good examples of games that are phenomenal in VR. So if you go into the YouTube channel in Game or Die, and you just type in VR, you'll see why VR is awesome. I posted it maybe like 4 months ago or something like that. You'll find it pretty quick. The Quest 2 is still decent, but you have to remember that's 2019 technology. So the headset's roughly about 5 to 6 years old. Yes, it came out in 2020, but that hardware is rocking some pretty old stuff. Ah, who put out the lights? Dude, you tell me, why am I under it? I don't know. I just do what I do, man. Honestly, I think the real reason is I'm really bad at self-promotion. I don't like talking myself up. And so I'm pretty bad at self-promotion, but I will always say, if you want to, the best thing would be to share and say, hey, you know, I like this streamer, I like this guy, I like his videos, and you share it with people that you would think like the stuff. That's the best way the channel grows, and the best way that I get to do more stuff. Because if it takes off, it gives me more time to devote to this stuff. And I appreciate that. Those are super, super nice comments, guys. Thank you. It really, really does help make me feel like, hey, the things that I'm doing, people actually like, because I don't get a lot of feedback on that. And it could be demoralizing or disappointing sometimes, for sure. But I love video games. I enjoy them. I love talking about them with people. That's why I do it. And I'm not going to just stop because I'm not popular or I don't see some sort of return on it. I'm gonna do it anyways. I just hope other people like it, that's all. But I really do appreciate that. I have friends that only play PC VR with their old Quest headset. Yeah, exactly. I have a Quest 2. I just upgraded to a Quest 3 because I was bored and I really wanted one. Quest 2 is absolutely fine, but you will see some of the benefits of Quest 3 over Quest 2 when you switch out. The lenses are different. The pancake lens is different than the pencil lenses. And then also the colored pass-through camera. is a real night and day difference, especially if you're going to be doing mixed reality, because you can't do mixed reality on the... It is pizza time. You can't do mixed reality on the Quest 2, I believe, but you can do it on the Quest 3. And there's a couple really cool games that utilize mixed reality in a way. Okay, we'll do one more with Mikey, and then we'll switch out to another turtle. But yeah, as long as you have a VR headset that's capable enough, you don't need to go above and beyond. That's why I say, like, the Quest 3, dude, it's good. I have all the major headsets. I have a Valve Index. I've been playing around with VR since 2014. I had a development kit too before the Oculus Rift even came out, and I loved it. I love VR. But those headsets and that hardware will start to show its age, for sure, because technology advances so quickly and so fast. So it's really depending on what you want to do. And I like that we have the Quest 2 and the Quest 3, so my wife and I can play together if we wanted to. We don't have time for that, unfortunately, but the theory is there. It's valid. It works. Got some Baxter Stockman here. That's really funny you mentioned Mario Kart. I was debating, seriously, like 15 minutes before I started the stream, what am I going to play? What am I going to play? It's been a very busy day for me. And so I just started thinking about what am I going to play, and I almost loaded up Mario Kart 1, Super Mario Kart, on the Super Nintendo to play through that tonight. Oh, no, I don't think we're halfway through its life cycle. I mean, it's not even a year old yet. The Quest 3 will be out for at least another 2 years, I'd say. At least another. It came out in October of 2023. So I don't think it's halfway through its life cycle. But they are introducing, or the rumor, which you got to be very careful about internet rumors with hardware. Half of that never pans out. But they are saying that they are wanting to do a Quest 3 Slim or Pro version or whatever, but you're getting less hardware for it. You're getting smaller, cheaper hardware, which will bring down the price, which is the best thing about it, but it's not a full-blown upgrade. It might be a little bit faster on the processor side, but nothing that would actually be warrant a number one, like a numbered continuation in the hardware line. Oh man, imagine Mario Kart in VR? Dude, you can play Double Dash in VR right now. It's awesome. It's been that way for years, since 2016. Because there's the emulator for Wii and GameCube and Wii called Dolphin. And originally there was a fork of Dolphin for VR when it first came out in 2016. Man, this guy. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's switch out. Oh, it didn't let me change. Oh well, that's fine. I'm okay with Mikey. But there's a fork that allows VR capability to be utilized with all of the GameCube and Wii games. So I played Metroid Prime in VR, Mario Kart in VR, Zelda Wind Waker in VR. It's awesome. It's super cool. Breath of the Wild in VR, yeah. And it's funny because they actually have the VR, quote-unquote VR version of Breath of the Wild that they did with the Google Cardboard or whatever, like the official. But I wasn't really into that type of stuff. That's like, I don't really call that real VR. The Google Cardboard stuff is not real VR. Oh crap, more turtles? Yeah, I know. How's it going, B-Mills? How are you doing tonight? We're going to be playing through Turtles 1, the arcade game, And then we're gonna switch out to Simpsons Arcade after I beat this. I've died a couple times, right? I keep forgetting to do the death counter. People did, man. People did at the time. They were so desperate for those like anything VR that was cheap, that you would see a lot of people doing the Oculus Go, the Cardboard, the Google Cardboard VR. It was super weird, and I kept trying to tell people. Oh, thank you, April. I kept trying to tell people, like, don't do it, don't do it. Like, try the real VR. You're gonna really like damage your first impressions with VR if you do the Google's Cardboard stuff. It's not real VR. You need the hardware for it. You need the frame rates for it. And it's a night and day difference. I've shown people who've tried it, and they would swear off VR, which, again, is why I really do suggest looking at the Why VR is Awesome video on the YouTube channel, because it does really, really mess around with your impressions. If you have that Google Cardboard, like, first impression, it's gonna taint it. I've had people go, yeah, VR kind of sucks. And I'm like, which version did you try? They said, Cardboard. And I went, that's not real VR. Let me show you. And I would show them, and it was just mind-blowing. They just were like, this is totally different. And this is amazing and awesome. And again, it's one of the reasons why I made that Why VR is Awesome video. I know I'm going to plug it a bunch tonight, but please go watch that. It's like 15 minutes, and it's basically like me telling people why VR is really cool and showcasing it. Because a lot of people will say it's cool, but never give exact reasons why. That was your first impression of VR too? Yeah. I agree. They should totally make... Well, you got to be careful what you wish for, because they did the HD Turtles in Time Remastered Edition back on the 360 called Reshelled. I don't know if anyone remembers that or not, but it's a pretty bad remaster, like HD remaster. Man, having some trouble here, but that's okay. Just having fun tonight. It's relaxing after a long day at work. Ah. I hate these guys. Those things are like the worst. Yeah, the majority of VR stuff, it tries to be a gimmick. Like, it's a quick cash grab. Or the original stuff was. There was a lot of original stuff that was either quick cash grabs or just trying to figure out the technology. But luckily, a lot of that stuff has kind of gone by the wayside. And you have really cool things being developed now. That's just amazing. Oh, you never play The Simpsons? We're gonna beat it tonight, all right? I'll beat it just for you. Yeah, The Simpsons arcade game is fantastic. Bladed Sorcery is crazy. There's so many mods to that game. It's incredible. It feels like a completely different game than when I bought it originally, when it first came out in early access, and now it's just like, dude, what is this? This is crazy. I love it. I wish I was better at it, and that's one of the major things I'm very excited about with the move that we're coming up with, is when I build the new studio, I'm gonna build a section for VR so I can actually stand up, move around, crouch down, and all that, and show all that on screen. That's gonna be really nice. I've actually never played Gorilla Tag. I've only heard about it. It's one of those things where I just don't have the time for multiplayer stuff most of the time. It's a multiplayer game, and I'm not big into multiplayer stuff, except for certain things. I'll give anything a shot, though. I would totally try it. I just can almost guarantee you I probably won't like it. Ah, dang it. Don't play it. In VR or just in general? Like, are you just talking about like Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Elden Ring and stuff like that? Or are you talking about in VR? Yeah, see, you gotta remember, kids like a lot of really bad stuff. And you gotta be you just gotta remember that, that's all. Oh man, Tears of the Kingdom multiplayer would be interesting. Like what, play as some of the sages? I think that would be cool. Like one person's Link and then the others are the sages. You know, I was talking about it, I think 2 nights ago maybe, when we were doing the Lightning Temple. There was the game that no one ever talks about. And it was funny, I actually went into the Discord, and I do this all the time. I go into the Discord and I go into the podcast channel that 24/7 plays the podcast, and I was listening to one of the episodes and I was talking about this game, and I was like, dude, I just talked about that last night. It was the Hyrule Warriors game, which is like Dynasty Warriors but with Zelda characters. The Calamity whatever game, the one that came out just a couple years ago in 2020. Dude, that's a great game. That's a solid game, and it gives you more backstory and lore on Hyrule in that version of Zelda. It's fantastic. Yeah, there was a multiplayer mod for Breath of the Wild, from what I remember, but I think it got taken down, right? Because of Nintendo? I could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure that it got taken down. I'm sucking it up here. I'm kind of not paying attention. I'm trying to keep up with you guys. You guys are talking a lot tonight. I love it. I'm trying to keep up with all the questions. If I miss one of your questions, I apologize. I'm sorry. I'm trying. But yeah, I really like the Hyrule Warriors Calamity incident, or whatever it's called, on the Switch. That was really fun. Pretty much. I mean, you could still play Yuzu, and there's a billion clones, but all those clones are garbage, and just don't even bother with any clones right now. They're all getting wiped. It's gonna take an underground movement of at least a year before anything comes out that's different. That's actually different, not just a clone of the last development build of Yuzu. So Ryujinx is probably the only one at this point that I would even consider using. Yeah, the mod scene on Breath of the Wild was awesome. I haven't really looked into the mod scene on Tears of the Kingdom, because I don't want to play those games with mods unless it's just like enhancement quality of life mods. And even then, you kind of got to be careful. Like, once I beat it, sure, if I ever go back to it, I'd totally play with some mods. But I'm not really big into mods to begin with. I really like playing the game the way the designers developed the game. Again, unless it is something like, oh, the frame rate is barely 30 and there's a mod to play it at an uncapped frame rate, or 60 frames or whatever, and you can play it in 5K resolution. Sure, I'll do those mods. But if it's gonna dramatically change the actual game itself, I would wait until I finish the game and then it's on a replay. Which Simpsons game? The arcade game. The Simpsons arcade game from Konami. Because that was the other one that I used to own. I don't have mods for my chat. I am the mod. And I don't hate myself, so. Dang it. Hey, believe me, as a guy in Central Time Zone, starting at 11 p.m., I wish I had a schedule to allow for that. I just don't, unfortunately. This is literally the only free time I have in the day is at night after everyone goes to bed. So, unfortunately, I wish, dude. Believe me, I really wish. Ah, man. But the cool thing is, especially on YouTube, they're all there afterwards. I know the whole thing is chat interaction, and you want to hang out and talk, and I'm always down for that, which is why the Discord exists. I will talk games 24/7 all day long. I'm in the Discord all day. So if you are wanting that chat interaction, that's a great place to do it. The Discord is awesome. Or I try to make it awesome. I do post in there every day. Yeah. Dude. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I hate this guy. This is General Trag, right? Oh, dude, this guy is the worst. He's getting me in this... Dude, he's got me in this, like, stun lock animation. Oh, nice. 10 a.m., dude. Yeah, that's perfect time, right? Dude, this is tough. Long time since you've seen this game. Welcome in, by the way. Yeah, I love this game. I used to own the actual physical big arcade cabinet, not like the arcade 1-up stuff, like the original cabinet. I loved it. It was like one of my favorite things I've ever owned. I should get well, I didn't order it. Remember, I physically made it from scratch. I made that Shredder helmet for Halloween one year. I could do a much better job nowadays. Much better. It would probably be 3D printed too. I would almost guarantee it would be 3D printed at this point. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm trying, man. I'm trying to grow the channel. I'm trying to just, I mean, as best as I can. Like I said, I'm pretty awful at I'm pretty awful at self-promotion. I always feel like I'm either bragging or bugging people. Like, oh yeah, check out the YouTube video that I did about VR. Why VR is awesome. I feel like, people don't want to hear about this. Oh, that would be awesome to have a Marvel vs. Capcom 2 cabinet. That would be amazing. That would be like a holy grail as well. Yeah, I mean, I plan on playing all the Zeldas on stream for sure. When? I don't know. It really depends. I try to do franchises and franchise runs as much as I possibly can. So if I'm playing through, you know, a series, dang it, I got hit. I try to start from the beginning. So if you're like, dude, Ryan, why don't you play a Zelda playthrough? I go, okay, we're starting with Zelda 1 on the NES. Then we're playing through Zelda 2. And then we're playing through Link to the Past. And then we're playing through Ocarina of Time. And then Majora's Mask. And those are big games. So it would take a while to get through, but I would love that. That would be super fun. Yeah, Ocarina of Time is probably my number 2, maybe. I think we talked about this yesterday. And maybe the day before, too. I don't remember exactly, but... yeah, I love Ocarina of Time. It was awesome because my wife and I played through it right after we played through Breath of the Wild. And it was so much fun. Wind Waker would be great, and I can play through it on the HD version, which would be super fun. because that version is so much better, like just in every regard. Okay, what oh, here's General Trag. Yep, that's very true. But dude, I'm always down to talk about Zelda. The only thing is, I just hope everyone realizes I do play different games as well. I'm not just like only Zelda, or I had a lot of people when I was going through the Donkey Kong Country series. I was going through the Donkey Kong Country series back in January, early February, and then also Tomb Raider. And people would jump in going, when are you playing this game again? And I'm like, I already finished it. And they go, oh, okay. Well, it was fun watching y'all. I'm unfollowing because you're not playing the game. I'm like, sorry. Yeah, it's just, I have never been a person to replay games. I've replayed my favorite game of all time 3 times. I'm not a sports fan, but I will play some sports games, but they've got to be the hyper-realistic sports games, like NFL Blitz and NBA Jam and NFL or NHL Hits / Wayne Gretzky's 3D Hockey. Those are the types of sports games that I really like. Even like Mutant League Football. Or if you do want to classify it as sports, the wrestling games on Nintendo 64, the AKI wrestling games like WCW versus NWO Revenge, World Tour, WrestleMania, and No Mercy. But most people don't consider wrestling a sport, so. All right, we got Krang and his android body, which I freaking love this color, or this version of the android body, like the classic 80s cartoon version. Hey, John Rambo. They drew first blood. You know, he was sitting there with his legs and his head was coming off. Yeah. Always got to do a Stallone impression. That's a great one. Yes, I did see that the Zelda, what is it, Echoes of Time or something like that, or the Chamber of Echoes, where you actually play as Zelda. It's in the same vein as Link's Awakening HD or remaster, whatever it's actually called. I love that. That's awesome. Here we go. Oh, I thought I had it for a second. I thought I got a good one in. Dang it, dude. My father-in-law is really into hockey. He loves the hockey. The hockey. Wow. That shows you how big of a sports fan I am. He loves the hockey. He loves hockey, and he loves the Kings. That's like his team. He loves the Kings. That's LA, right? I was always a fan of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks because I lived near Anaheim, and so we would see the Ducks all the time. I went to one of the first Ducks game when the pond actually originally opened, and it was so fun. I've been to a few Ducks games, and they were always awesome, and I will always remember, yeah, it's called football in the US, but it's called soccer everywhere else. I will always remember the last Ducks game I went to. It was the Ducks versus the Red Wings. And I gotta pause. I gotta pause this for a second to tell this story. Hold on. So my best friend and I and his wife went to this hockey game at the pond. And it was the Ducks versus the Red Wings. And the entire night, there was these two guys from the teams going at it, just like really pushing each other. And then the one guy got hit really bad, and the other guy got penalized for it. And I believe he was on the Ducks. He got penalized and put in the penalty box. And so the countdown timer, and it was for like 5-10 minutes, something pretty long. and the crowd was like counting down as it got closer and closer, like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the buzzer beeped, and he leaped over the penalty box, skated as fast as he could towards the guy he got penalized for taking out, and he just decked him right in the back of the head as hard as he could, and he went flying, and it was the coolest thing. And I went, this is why I love hockey. This is why hockey is like one of the coolest sports. It's so freaking violent, and it's so much fun. Let's get back to video games. But I love telling that story because it's just my favorite. I'll always remember that. That guy was just so angry that he got penalized. He just had to take the guy out after. And then he got penalized again. Oh, I appreciate that comment, Tyler. Oh, I got turned into a little turtle. I appreciate that comment. I do really put a lot of effort into the videos that I produce, the podcasts that I make, all the posts on the Discord, and the streams every night. I mean, I stream for several hours every night, and I have a full-time job, and we're in the middle of moving. It's what I love doing. It's my passion, and hopefully that comes across. I love when he gets turned into a little turtle, because he reminds me of my tortoise that I have. His name is Rex. I showed him on stream a few times. He's pretty cool, but he's a baby. He's a real tiny little baby. There we go. I know, right? Because we have fun here. That's the best part about it. I feel these streams go by insanely fast too. I'm like even last night or 2 nights ago, the last couple of nights, I'm like, dude, it's already been 4 hours? That's insane. Freaked the Foots, mangled the Mausers, and totaled the Technodrome. That's turtle power! But what about the Shredder and Krang? Burned to toast? Vaporized to milkshake? Or escaped to Dimension X? Until we know, none of us can sleep safely in our beds. Or shells. Cowabunga! We beat it.
Perfect.
Like I said, it's a really short game. It can be beaten in about 45 minutes. Excellent! Man, I need to get those soundboards working again. I used to have a good chunk of them. Let me see if I can get some. There we go. Oh, dude, he's gonna outlive me, and that's kind of a weird thing to think about. Like, I've got this pet, this tortoise, who lives to about 80 years old, and I am not gonna live to I'm not gonna live in 80 years. I'm already almost 40, so I got to make peace with that, and that's kind of a weird thing to like have a mortality like type of thought just because I have this animal. But I love them, and, you know, passing them down to the next generation if we have kids or whatever. Yeah, I think that's really, really cool. I know. None of us are really paying attention to the game. But again, the game is secondary. The game is here to bring us all together. And I've played this game a million times before. I've beaten it so many times since I had the arcade game. Ah, crap! I do that every once in a while. I accidentally just get the wrong one. All right, well. What is next? That's a great question. We are going to play a little bit of The Simpsons in arcade. So give me a second here. Let me get the Simpsons all squared away. I need to remember which version to play because there's 2 versions. And I think this one is going to allow me to play to choose my character. Because you can either have the 2-player version or the 4-player version. And the 2-player version, I believe, allows you to choose. The 4-player version, it depends on which part of the side of the arcade that you actually stand at. And again, This is another arcade cabinet that I owned, and it was so awesome. I picked it up for about 800 bucks on Craigslist years, like when I had my game store. Dropped it into the game store, and people would come in all the time going, "No way, you've got The Simpsons, that's awesome." Oh, dude, yeah, it totally is an arcade classic. Konami, 1990, no, this is 89. 91 was the Turtles game. And this is a great, great game. We're gonna obviously be Homer.
Homer.
Homer. And Smithers is a bank robber, apparently. Is trying to steal jewels. And then he kidnaps Maggie. How awful. Stupid Smithers.
Maggie.
I used to do a pretty good Homer, and I can kind of, but my voice is so tired from the last week of streaming and work. So here we go. This is a great, great game. And there's a lot of little hidden stuff here, just like with the NES game, Bart versus Space Mutants. That's a really interesting game. And it's very self-referential. You got The Simpsons in the new arcade game. In the arcade game. Ooh, an HD version. That's pretty interesting. Nice. Dang it. We got Martin and Principal Skinner hanging out together. Like, there's so much weird stuff, and this is like early Simpsons, so you have a lot of stuff that just doesn't exist in the semi-later seasons anymore, but it's still really fun. The thing with these, they're really fun, but they're very cheap. They're made as quarter munchers. They were made and designed to eat quarters and take quarters from you. So there's a lot of unfairness to that. Yes, this game totally has a plot. And then it's got the Life in Hell Matt Groening weird bunnies, which we'll play as Marge a little bit later, and when she gets electrocuted, you actually see that she's a bunny, because that was one of the things that they were gonna do with The Simpsons, is Marge was actually gonna be one of the Life in Hell bunnies. Oh yeah, this game's a little bit longer. This game's probably about 50 minutes to an hour long, but it's a beat 'em up, so it's not that. It's more the fact that you get knocked down and you continually have to take out these enemies that just have so much life in them. Like, the Mr. Burns fight at the very end is really, really long. It's just excruciatingly long. All right, so there's another death. And now, yeah, let's play as Bart. What am I gonna play after? I don't know. I was thinking maybe Metal Slug. Metal Slug 2, since we beat Metal Slug 1 last week on Retro Game Night, I feel like that can be kind of like another game that we play. It all depends. Hey, yo. What's up, Tyler? Yo. Oh, man, I used to be really good at this. I'm not gonna win it. I'm not gonna win it. That's okay. I still get to lift off. All right, stage 2, Krusty Land. Man, I could go for a donut. It was funny, we went to the new property the other day, and we were out there for a while, and we hiked and everything. This was on Saturday, I believe. And on the way home, we were just like tired and hungry, and we just needed something. My wife was like, I need some coffee. I'm like, where do you want to go? And she's like, Dunkin' Donuts? And I was like, okay. I don't really drink coffee, So I was like, all right, fine. But then we got donuts as well. I was like, I kind of want a donut. She's like, I do too. And so we got some donuts. And I was like, yes. There's Dr. Marvin Monroe and Otto, kind of back there. He's on the other side. He's scrolled off the screen. Got Millhouse giving me a hammer. It's got all the cameos that you would expect from early Simpsons. Yeah, we have a Dunkin' Donuts right next to our house, like 6 minutes away, which is really nice. But we're not going to have it for very much longer because we're not going to be here in a month. And now that's kind of the fun thing is when you move, you have to find all the new places, right? Yeah, I'm not a fan of coffee. I'm just not. Dang it, come on. All right, it's go time, man. Moving's going good. We did the inspections the other day and the house inspections for both our house and the new house. So we're just waiting to hear back on what I need to spend my time fixing in this house, which I'm not excited about, but whatever. It's all part of the moving process. We tried the best we can. We fixed the main stuff, like the air conditioning was a big one. Yeah. And that's what a lot of people will say is like, oh, the taste is bad. You got to get used to it. I'm like, I don't want to get used to it. I don't want to become accustomed to something bad. Yes, the pink gorilla that was in the cage is, yeah, it looks like Homer. It's a weird game for sure. But it's early Simpsons before they really figured out what the show was going to be. And, I mean, we are at Krusty Land. We got Snowball 2 that we can throw. And Sherry or Terry gives us food. And now we battle a big, giant Krusty balloon. Dang it. I threw the cat before I could hit it. Ah. Yeah, that's what happens when you play. This is why I was never allowed to watch The Simpsons as a kid, because Bart swore and was a bad influence. Even to this day, my mom's like, you're not allowed to watch The Simpsons whenever I bring it up. And it was funny too, because when the movie came out, once it came out on DVD, I was talking to her about it. And she's like, oh, really? You're not allowed to watch that. I'm like, I know. And then I was like, it's actually really funny. And she's like, really? I'm like, I think you would really like it, Mom. And so I sat down with my mom and we watched the Simpsons movie together. And that was like really, really fun because she was not into the Simpsons. She's still not, but like she's okay with watching it with her son once. So that was kind of fun and special. I like that. Yeah, this game goes on a lot longer than you think it would, but it's not too bad. Yep. Yep, that's very true. I love my parents, but yeah, I mean, it's just part of being a parent. You're always going to view your child as your baby, your kid. It just happens. Come on. I love the different weapons that the characters have too. Like, Lisa has a jump rope. Homer's got his fists. Like, that's the thing, is Homer is he's got his fists. But Lisa's got the jump rope, Bart's got the skateboard. And we'll see what Marge has in just a moment. If you haven't seen it, I'll let you see what she has, and it's kind of funny. One more health, or death, life, whatever. And then now we've got zombies. And they do the thriller dance. Kind of, like offshoot thriller dance. I love that. They kind of do their little dances and stuff. That's great. It's such a weird game, man. I love it. It was funny because usually around this time, people would start dropping off the game when they would come into the game store and they would go, oh man, you got The Simpsons. I gotta play this. We're gonna beat it. And by this level is where people would kind of get tired of it and just go, you know what? I gotta go. Dang it. There we go. Man, I wish we could play this together online. I think that would be really fun. I mean, there is definitely a way, and at some point, I really do want to do that with the community, play some of these games online with you. That would be so fun. Because it's so much better when you have multiple people playing together. These brawlers are just very monotonous, and it's the fact that you're playing it with someone else that really brings out the joy in them. By yourself, you can have fun, you can, kind of just go through it, but it's so much better with another person, or two, or three. Oh, whoops. Ooh, a Mario Kart 8 tournament would be rad. I love that idea. So Marge has a vacuum cleaner as her weapon, and I love that too. That's great. Like, what would Marge use as a weapon? A vacuum cleaner. Yeah, Mario Kart 8 tournament would be rad too. I'm still trying to figure out what we're gonna do for Multiplayer Madness this Saturday. Which, it's funny because Faustism is gone now, and he's the one who's usually bugging me about Multiplayer Madness. So we gotta figure out what we're gonna play for multiplayer. So on Saturdays we are gonna be playing Multiplayer Madness, which means if you want to play with me online for the stream, dude, let's do it. We just got to figure out a game that we all have, that we can all play, and that's kind of the hard part. We'll play Marge one more time. One more. I play everything. I play all sorts of games. I'm not big into multiplayer, which is why I cap it off on one stream every other Saturday. But I am always willing to give stuff a shot. So if you have an idea, if I've got the game, and more people have the game too, then I'm always willing to hear people out on suggestions for Multiplayer Madness. Come on, this guy. Of this game, yes. So now we'll go back to Homer. You pretty curious about the upcoming content? Like I said, that schedule is kind of like the best way for you to figure out, hey, what's gonna be on the next stream? What are you doing on Saturday night, Ryan? Like, that's why I made that schedule, so that you guys know exactly what's gonna happen on the stream on any given day during the month. And I will be changing it from month to month sometimes. But remember, I am in the middle of moving, and like this and next month are gonna be really weird for this stream. The schedule is gonna be just really different, and sometimes I might not be able to stream or whatever, so just bear with me. Literally moving our entire lives across an hour away. Homer should have a gun. There is the Homer versus the 18th Amendment episode where Homer gets a gun, and that's one of my favorite episodes of The Simpsons. And now we're in Moe's Tavern, which looks not really much like Moe's Tavern. And there's Barney, and he just does this weird thing. There we go. Moe's just threatening people with a bottle of beer, threatening them with a good time. Maggie's on the TV in the background. Oh, a belt would be pretty good too, yeah. Dang it. We got Bleeding Gums Murphy in the background playing the saxophone. And, hold on a second. I was just dancing. Oh, thank you, Tyler. No problem, man. Have an awesome rest of your night. Get some rest. Rest up for tomorrow. And take care. God bless, dude. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for virtual reality night. We're probably going to be going through more of Quake 2 tomorrow in VR. Do the Duke Nukem. Shake it, baby. Oh, yeah. Groovy. I'd buy that for $1. Man, it's funny. Every time I haven't done the Duke voice in a while, it takes a moment. Absolutely, dude. That is what I'm here for. Making sure everyone knows what's going on. Make it nice and simple and easy, man. Like, that is the one big thing is there's so many streamers that just don't give the information to the viewer. And I was a viewer for a long time until I started streaming. I was like, okay, one thing that I'm gonna do if I ever start streaming is make it simple and easy for people to know what I'm up to on any given day. Because there's so many streamers that just go, all right, I'm going live, and then you have no idea when, where, what time, what games are going to be played. And especially for a variety streamer, that's really important. Because certain people are going to be into the games that you play and certain people aren't. And so if there's people who are like not into old classic games, you know, the retro games, they're going to want to skip Wednesday nights because they know, hey, Ryan's going to be playing old retro games and I'm just not into that. Or if you're not into the game of the month, you can just skip the Mondays because those are always game of the month. It just makes it so much simpler, and I love that. Battery pack or rechargeable? I'm using the Xbox One Elite Series 2 controller. So it has a built-in rechargeable battery. It's my favorite controller of all time, and on the Discord last week, I posed the question, what is your favorite gaming controller, for the question of the week. Unfortunately, I do question of the week every Wednesday. I did not get to the question of the week today. It was so busy. I was so tired from work. I got like 3 hours of sleep. So unfortunately, I just didn't get to type out my response. So I will post that tomorrow at some point. I'll have a little bit more free time in the afternoon. So I'll definitely have that for the question of the month, or sorry, question of the week tomorrow. Have I seen the ROG Ally? Yes. One of my best friends has it. He loves it. I'm not big into handhelds because I don't need them. I don't see the value in it for me personally. But I do have a Steam Deck, and the reason why is because I travel a lot, or I did. I was traveling every other week to across the country for work for a couple years. And then last year, luckily, I kind of stopped traveling which is really, really nice. But then I haven't used my Steam Deck since. I literally haven't used my Steam Deck in over a year because I just don't need it. I've got massive projectors and TVs. I don't need to sit and play it on a tiny little screen. But I've heard the ROG Ally is freaking fantastic. My best friend won't shut up about it. He talks to me about it all the time. I'm like, that's awesome, dude. He's like, yeah, I sit in bed, you know, at night, and I get to play some games. So he's gotten through, like, what was the game he just finished? I think it was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was the one that he just finished. And he's like, yeah, I just played it in bed every night. I'm like, that's super rad. Sideshow Bob before he tried to kill me. Hello, bot. I can't really do a good Kelsey Grammer. Sideshow Bob is just such a unique voice. It's funny too because I knew Kelsey Grammer from The Simpsons and Sideshow Bob over Cheers and Frasier. But a couple years ago, we started watching Frasier, and I was like, oh man, this is great, but I can only view Kelsey Grammer as Sideshow Bob. When I'm watching Frasier, I just view him as Sideshow Bob. It's super weird. But then we got really into that show, and like we watched it the entire run through, and by like season maybe 6 or 7, I was just like, yeah, I know Sideshow Bob, I just don't visualize him. I visualize Frasier. Super weird to just fight a bear. That is one of the things that I wish, I know you can kind of sideload Windows on the Steam Deck. I keep confusing Steam Deck and Stream Deck, but on the Steam Deck, I know you can sideload Windows, but mostly it's Linux, and I just, man, I hate Linux. That's like the one big bummer. If it was Windows-based, it would be so much easier to use. Have I ever played Warframe? Ooh, I did play Warframe back on release day on the PS4, which basically sucked. Warframe was boring and super, super bad when it originally launched on PS4. But over the years, they've gone above and beyond it. They've changed that game so much. It's totally different than what it was when it was launched. I was just like, what is this? This is weird. It's just this free-to-play game, and it's kind of got nothing really to it. The characters don't have any personality or anything. So I just kind of wrote it off. And then like maybe 5 years later or 6 years later, I was hearing a lot about Warframe, and I saw someone play it. And I'm like, what the heck is this? This is crazy. It was so cool. I was like, oh man, that's awesome. Ooh. That's my favorite game as a child. That's a really interesting question. Because I'm trying to think of like what era of childhood. Because I played so many games. Like I originally started with the original classic NES. That was my first console back in 1988. And then a little bit after the Super Nintendo came out, then I got that. And then I got the Sega Genesis first. That's what it was. I got the Genesis first, then I got the Super Nintendo. And so it's like, what time era of childhood? Like, of all time, I don't know if I had one or not. Because, like, I kind of played everything. I would go back to certain games, for sure. But there's certain games that, you know, I just had, and so I would play it because I had it. Let's continue. Homer. I'm trying to think, maybe... Road Rash on the Sega Genesis is like one of my favorites. I love Road Rash on the Sega Genesis. It's such a unique game. They never made anything like it ever again after that series went down. There was no real copycats or anything like that. Road Rash would be up there in probably my top 5 classic games. Yes, Cuphead's amazing. I love Cuphead. I was so excited the first time I saw that sizzle reel at E3. I was like, I want this game and I want it now. And it took forever to come out and I was so mad. And then it finally came out and my wife was like, oh, I want to watch you play this. My wife was like super on board with that game too. By the way, here, give me 1 second. I mean, my wife loved Cuphead so much, she got me a Cuphead mug for Christmas. That needs to be cleaned out. That's all dirty. But yeah, I love Cuphead. And we got the art book for it as well. The art book is phenomenal. There's so much good art for it. And then when the DLC came out, the DLC was so good. And that year, 2022, didn't have a whole lot of great games. I actually put the DLC as one of my top 10 games of 2022 because that DLC is so good. It's basically another game. It took so long to come out. It took years to come out. And when it finally did, it was like, dude, this is basically a brand new game. So I love Cuphead. I love it so much. Yeah, it's a cool little cup. I really like it. And I got it for Christmas from my wife. We played through most of Cuphead back in February. I had a viewer who was teaching me how to play it like speedrun style, like learning the environments, or not the environments, learning the boss, what do you call it? Learning the boss patterns and stuff like that. That was really fun. Ah, bummer, Bob. Bummer. That's okay. Take your time, buddy. Come on, keep going, keep going, keep going. Ah, it was close. We had him for a minute. But yeah, I really liked it because it was interesting seeing someone else kind of teach me how the bosses react, where the spots you want to stay, what the patterns are. And it was just really, really interesting to play a game like that. I'd never play games like that. I just kind of brute force my way through boss battles like this. You can see, I kind of just keep hitting until something awesome happens. All right. Awesome, Bob. Welcome back. You've missed nothing. We're just on the bowling ball boss still. It kind of does, doesn't it? What is your favorite Cuphead boss? What's everyone's favorite Cuphead boss? DLC or normal game? I almost drank out of my Cuphead cup. I was like, nope, don't want to do that. The two frogs, the Street Fighter frogs that are modeled after Ryu and Ken.
Hey, wake up and find Maggie.
Wake up and find Maggie.
Go!
Come on, wake up. Wake up! Yeah. I'm trying to think of what my favorite one is. In the DLC, I think the mobster boss, the mobster bugs boss is really cool. That was probably the hardest one for me. That took me a long while. My wife was like, oh my gosh, you're having some trouble with this. And I was like, I know, I don't know why. And then I finally beat it. Now I put down the controller, I put my arms up, and then it does this weird, like, nope, there's a secret third or fourth phase to the boss, and I was so bummed out about that. King Dice is great. Yeah, the Angel and Demon boss in the DLC is really good too, because it's all like claymation. I loved the claymation top section where you're in the clouds and you do like the ones where it's not shooting but it's like parrying. Those were really fun. Those were very unique. 1 second here. Yeah, those are really, really cool bosses. I like the parrying stuff. I'm not great at it, and like even the mausoleum stuff was cool too. Those are really interesting levels, especially the music, man. The music in that game is so good. For the normal game, I would say maybe Hildeberg, the blimp one, or the octopus lady, Calamari or something like that. Those are probably my two favorites. They're just so unique looking, and the art style that they're made with are just, I just can't get enough of that game. Man, maybe we'll have to do a Cuphead stream soon. Maybe on Friday. I know I said I'd play Zelda on Friday, but man, now you're making me want to play Cuphead. Your dad really liked Cuphead? That's awesome. I think my parents would like Cuphead if they ever saw it. They just never will. Like, they're just not into video games, and that's okay. My parents at least my dad listens to the podcast, which always makes me happy. He always comments on it sometimes. He'll be like, hey, your new episode of the podcast was really cool. I liked the game that you were talking about. And I was like, really? Where were you when I was 13 and I wanted to play video games all the time? He's like, he was working, like he just didn't have time to play video games. Like that's just not them, you know, they're from an older generation. But it's interesting to hear him talk about the podcast. I'm like, oh, you listen to it? That's interesting. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about half the time, but I like it. It sounds interesting. Oh, he's into the God of War series? That's cool. The classic PS2/3 God of Wars, or the newer modern ones? I know it's all a continuation, really, but they do feel very different. Very, very different. The older ones? Okay. Yeah, I haven't played those older ones since they came out. I would love to do a God of War playthrough as well. And remember, like, when I say all this stuff, I do mean it. It's just, there's so many games to play, and I do like playing new games as well, so there will be a time when we do a God of War playthrough, but it just won't be anytime soon. I would say maybe next year would be a time that I'll probably do a God of War playthrough. And again, it would be the entire series. God of War 1, 2, 3, maybe the PSP games, Chains of Olympus and things like that. And then maybe the new ones. I don't know if I would replay the new ones because I just went through those semi-recently. Like, I would remember way too much. Yeah, there's a couple PS2 portable, the PSP games. Chains of Olympus, and I can't remember what the other one was. No one liked it when it came out because it was on the PSP, but I've definitely heard a lot of people now say, oh yeah, the PSP games are great. And I do remember playing a little bit of Chains of Olympus, and I thought it was fine for what it was. I was just like, it's on a PSP. But when they remastered it on HD for PS3, it's totally fine. It kind of solved that issue.
Homer.
This is a weird section. This kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's like Kabuki samurai ninja section in the studio or whatever. Come on, just die. One thing I wish that they would bring back is the blinking bosses, the flashing bosses that Konami utilized. So interesting because it gives you a quick, clear visual indicator of, oh, this boss is gonna be really close to dying. I've got like a couple more hits, come on! Squeak it out before I die and lose my life. There it is. Yeah, see? I love that. I love that so much. Oh, summer camp. Nice. I loved summer camp. And don't worry about it. I'll always be here. All right? You don't have to worry about it. I'm not going anywhere. Like I said, I'm in the middle of moving, so come August, in the middle of August, the studio will be packed up and moved, and then we will have to kind of start building out a little bit, but I stream every day, dude. Don't worry about it. Join when you can. No pressure. All right, final boss time.
Welcome to my world.
Smithers sounds so weird. Welcome to my world. Dang it. Okay. So we got Smithers. Come on. That was good, like stun lock there. That felt good. Jeez. There we go. Yeah, the one bummer thing about these is they're quarter munchers. There's not a whole lot of strategy to them. It's just kind of more, oh yeah, you see the characters that you love, you go through these levels, but there's not a whole lot of depth to them. And I think if they remade this game, I want a Simpsons arcade game remake, where not only do they remake this game, but they also do like a sequel. It would be so interesting because they could basically compound and add like combos and strategy and RPG elements, leveling up. Like they could do so much with it. This is not Cuphead hard because it's a very different style of game. This is a button masher. And there's, like I was just saying, there's no real strategy to this. This is just pump quarters in, hit as many times as you can until you finish off the boss. There's no real like, oh, I need to go here, I need to dodge this, I need to do that. It's just button mashing. So it's a very different style of game, and you can't really compare it to something like Cuphead. Cuphead is strategy, is designed in a way to be beaten without getting hit. You cannot not get hit in these games. I mean, there are people who can do that. I am not one of those people to spend the time. It's not worth it. These games aren't that fun. They're just like casual, enjoyable types of arcade games. And remember, they're arcade games. They're designed to be beaten within 45 minutes. suck about 20 bucks in the quarters to finish it, and you just go until you're dead. And then you kind of move on. You're not really meant to finish a lot of these games either. They weren't designed to be finished. They were designed to get you in, take as much money as possible from you, and then you move on to something else. So it's a very different style of game that doesn't really exist anymore. Arcade games are just so different. And we'll do Bart for a little bit. We'll see if Bart can finish off Mr. Burns. It seems like Bart has a little bit less speed on his attacks. Maybe a little bit more damage, but less speed. Yep. You and me both, pal. And that was kind of one of the fun things about having it and owning it, is not only did I not have to put money into it to beat it, which was really fun, but it was also, I got to actually be that guy and go, all right, cool. Have this in here, and then have people come into the store and play it, pump quarters into it, and then get the quarters back from those people. Like actually pull it open, get the quarter bin out, take those quarters to the bank. Like, it was cool. It was really cool. I love arcade cabinets. But there was definitely times where I would put it on free play mode because, like, I know people, like, if people would spend money in the store, I'd be like, hey, if you dump like a buck into this, I'll put it on free play mode for the rest of the day or something like that. It was always just random stuff that I could do to encourage people to stay around and play games and talk and have fun. Yeah, I loved my store, man. I'm really trying to find those pictures. I was trying to do it today, but I just didn't really have the time or the energy. I really didn't have the energy today. I was so exhausted. I didn't go to bed until like 4:30, 5 o'clock, and then I had to get up super early, so I only got a couple hours of sleep. And then I had to go back to teaching all day. Did I get him? Yeah, I did. Sweet. And then just one hit. Did I ever have a huge collection traded in? Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of times that I had a huge collection that would get traded in, and it would take a while. X's for the eyes. I love it. I always tell stories about it, but I'll tell one in just a second. Hey, we beat Simpsons Arcade too. So, let's see here. One of the things that got traded in to the store one time was let me try and remember what it was. It was the competition cartridge for Blockbuster of Donkey Kong Country. I loved that. And so someone traded it in, and I can't remember why exactly. I mean, this was like 15 years ago at this point. And they traded it in, and I was like, I've never seen this before. And they're like, oh yeah, we used to run I think it was like they used to own a franchise of Blockbuster, and they would keep all the interesting stuff, and then they would sell it off as they closed the store. And so they sold me the Blockbuster competition cartridge, and I was like, oh my gosh, cool. And then I looked it up, dude, that cartridge was worth like $1,000, like easy $1,000 or something like that. Maybe more now at this point too, but that was a really cool item that got brought in to be sold. Go look it up. You know what? Actually, give me 1 second here. Let me spell my name right this time. Hey, we got first. All right. So that's that. Here, let me show you what that actually is. CD, here we go. The Donkey Kong Country Blockbuster World Game Championship. We should be able to just kind of, I thought there was a way to view the thing. But basically what this is, we'll play like a couple minutes of this. It's just like the intro of Donkey Kong Country, but it's timed. So it starts off and you have 5 minutes to get as far and as many points as you can. It was a Blockbuster World Championship. And they used to do that a lot of the time with these types of games. What do I play now? I play everything. What emulator is this? Well, I'm playing on RetroArch right now. Or if you're talking about the front end, that's called Launchbox. That front end is Launchbox, which I will gladly plug every moment that I possibly can because it's fantastic. It's a great front end. And there is a whole other thing. I'll do it really quickly. Just give me a second. Let's see if we can get past the first section here. This is such a good game, man. I love the Donkey Kong series, or the Donkey Kong Country series. And the music is so good too in this series. Oh my gosh. We played through all of these games earlier this year, back in February. And it was so fun because I haven't played through these games since they came out. And going through all of them now, it was just like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. This is so much fun. Ah, dang it. Yeah, whatever, it's fine. Almost got all of them. Would have been great if we could have. Side quest beat the game. Yeah, I wish I could beat the game right now. I mean, these games are long. They're very, very long. And I already did earlier this year. And like I said, I don't replay games very often. These older games are easier to replay though. They're more basic, meaning you can get up and go. You can kind of just pick them up and start moving forward with them. They can be beat within, you know, just several hours, which is nice too. They're not big, long, drawn out like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom or something where it's like you're spending 80 plus hours in the game. It's no, you're kind of just going and doing your thing and then you're done. But it was interesting because I never finished Donkey Kong Country 3. I only played Donkey Kong Country 3 a little bit when it first came out, and so being able to finish Donkey Kong Country 3 on stream this year was actually kind of a highlight for me. I was like, oh cool, I did something I've never done before. I finished a game I've always wanted to, but I never had the time or whatever to actually finish it. And so that was kind of cool. Can't remember if yeah, whatever. We've got another minute and a half. And you can see they've removed all the hub world sections of this, and you're just flowing through the game as quick as you possibly can. Trying to get the highest score. Dang it. I do that every time. Oh, this music. Well, here goes one of my lives. 1 out of 53 lives. Oh, I just adore this game. It's so good. And it was funny too because I played through the entire series. I played through Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, and 3, and then Donkey Kong Country Returns on the Wii, and then Donkey Kong Country Returns or Tropical Freeze after. And so I played through the entire series, and it was really interesting going, okay, looking back on the series, which is my favorite? And I really do believe Donkey Kong Country 2 is the best out of the entire series, my favorite. 3 just had such a weird vibe and feeling to it. It had like this weird childish aesthetic and like not even kid friendly, but just like this weird like, oh, we're making this for babies. Like these kids are babies. Like Kitty Kong is in like feety pajamas, and the game over screen has them in a crib with like the little kid blocks. So there we go. There's our time limit. I got 2050. Next time you play this game, try and see if you can beat my score. Let me know. All right. I'm back out and we can play something else. So I was going to kind of cap off the night with a little bit of Metal Slug because we finished Metal Slug 1 the last week on Retro Game Night. So I was figuring we can kind of just continue. We can either play the regular Metal Slug 2 or Metal Slug X, which is a reimagining of Metal Slug 2. So I'm thinking Metal Slug X. Yeah, it's a pretty cool competition. Right, hold on. Let's change it to USA. And then we reset. And then we go into the hardware. Nope. Hold on. It's not what I want to do. I always try and show people, you got to be very careful with some of this stuff. Nope, not the hard, soft. Setting up the cabinet. Oh, maybe this is because it's X. Here we go. So with the SNK Metal Slug games, blood is off by default. And so you actually have to go into the dip switch settings, the software emulation, or the software settings to actually enable certain options like blood. USA. And now we can play it. Here we go. Let's play a little bit of Metal Slug 2. And we got to be... Should we go for Marco or one of the other
Metal
characters?
Slug.
X. What is going on? Why is it not
Firebomb.
it's not working? That's weird. Let's restart it again really quick. Yeah, dude, what's going on? The credits are not counting. Setting up hard dip switches, test mode, coin, 2 shoots. I mean, it should all be working fine. Continue, hero, demo, playtime, blood. Oh, it didn't save. Credit and level on, off, on, off. Credit and level. That should be good. Let's see what's going on here. I hope this works. Dude, that's super weird. Okay, let's back out. Let's try just regular Metal Slug 2. Should be good. Yeah, we won't mess with any other settings. We'll just mess with the blood, make sure we have blood. Dude, what is going on here? Come on, Ryan. I apologize. This is not what I wanted to have happen. Is it going to work? There we go. There we go. All right, cool. We'll just play regular Metal Slug 2. All right, we got Marco or our man Tarma. I like Tarma. I don't know why. I just kind of like Tarma. I think I like his glasses and wavy hair. Ah, the blood didn't save, dude. You know what? I want that blood. We need that blood. It's gotta work. It's gotta. It's okay. If it doesn't, it's gonna be a bummer. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. There we go. Now we got some blood. None of the sweat stuff. It's just, man, the hardware for SNK, I don't know why these games just had such a bad time running. But there's so much slowdown. These games are great. Thank you. I loved having these games. Give me 1 second. Oh, shoot. Hold on. Man. That's not a big deal. Not a big deal. I can just crank it up in my headphones. I loved having the SNK cabinet as well because I told this last week, but I did have an SNK cabinet at my wedding. And we had people playing the arcade cabinets at our wedding while we were doing like the pictures and stuff like that. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. People always talk about how cool our wedding was because we had video games at our wedding, like an arcade cabinet. Yes, the emulation is slow. This is exactly how slow the game runs. It is not emulation. It was hardware based. These games, original Metal Slug games, run really slow. They have a lot of slowdown, which is kind of the bummer. Which is why Metal Slug X is a good game, because Metal Slug 2 runs poorly. X is a better version of it, which is why I was trying to play it. We didn't have children at our wedding. It was a no kid wedding. But it was still fun. It was a small event. It wasn't like super big or crazy or anything. We just had our close friends and family and just had some fun. It was great. All right, there's our first death. All right, got this guy. Can't remember where. Okay, so yeah, we're blowing up the flash engines. Man, I could not think of the word engines. One thing that is kind of nice about the slowdown is you're able to react a lot better, a lot quicker to some of the stuff. Oh, okay. I was like, how did I die? Yeah, look at that great explosion / slowdown. You really get to see every pixel move. Haha.
Mission complete.
Mission complete. I can't remember if we're going to get into the rocket launcher
Mission 2. Start.
territory in this game or not. I can't remember.
Shotgun.
Got a shotgun. There we go. Oh, they're just going to run past. That's fine. What a great game. There's just nothing like these games back then, man. And then when they like all the weird crap that can happen to your character too, it's really interesting to see.
Thank you. Heavy machine gun.
Heavy machine gun. There we go. That's a great question. I work during the day. I stream at night. I do not know how I manage it, honestly, by the grace of God, because, dude, I honestly don't know how I stream every night for hours and then work for hours all day and do the podcast and the videos and the Discord stuff, plus, you know, my wife and our animals and all that stuff too. Like, honestly, I have no idea.
Hey, thank you. Hey, thank you.
I think part of it is learning your priorities and trying to just manage it all. Like, if something is not satisfying to me creatively, you know, I have the ability to drop it and continue on something else. Let's do Marco.
Heavy machine gun.
And there's been times where I just go, you know what, this isn't satisfying anymore. I'm kind of done, I've achieved what I wanted to do or whatever, and then move on to something else. But for right now, man, I kind of been putting so much energy into creative processes. It's kind of crazy. Oh, my life's great, but thank you. I do appreciate it. It's a lot of work, but I do find enjoyment in it. If I didn't, I wouldn't do it, period. And I think that's one of the nicest or the best things about it is all of this stuff is super fun for me. Like the streaming and the playing games, talking with you guys, it's all super, super fun. So I don't really feel like, oh man, it's a chore. It's not a chore for me. It's definitely draining energy-wise for sure. It happens, but I still really enjoy it. Dang it. No! I was trying to save him. I want Tarma back. I like Tarma. We're just gonna stay with Tarma. Oh, we should do the death counter. I am excited to play some more Quake 2 tomorrow, because I was not feeling that game originally, but after a few days away from it is definitely kind of helped. And I think I'll be able to finish that hopefully pretty quickly. You know what? I'm not really sure. Metal Slug is more of a ubiquitous type of, you are a ragtag band of guerrilla warfare specialists, and there is this evil organization that is trying to take over the world, and you have to defeat them. That's kind of like the main story. I don't know who these characters are. They don't really have a storyline at all. It's one more of those, this is an arcade game first, and a video game, like a story second, if at all. I think the levels tell more of a story than anything the game actually does. Like, we're in this level that has mummies, and we're seeing, like, it's environmental storytelling by, you see the the archaeologists like kind of digging out the entrance, and then some of the archaeologists going inside and then getting turned into mummies. Like, that's the storytelling the game does, is all environmental, like all as you play through the game. I really wish that they would really like bring back Metal Slug in a more serious way. Like oh, we're gonna make this a 5 to 10 hour game. I think that would be awesome. I think that would be super great. Oh man, this thing is kind of cool, but it's also kind of annoying to actually maneuver with. It kind of side crawls like a crab.
Heavy machine gun.
Oh, dude, arcades were awesome. Arcades were so much fun. Keep going, keep going. Ah, dang it. I was trying to avoid that. Nope. Ah, I knew I was gonna get hit on that. Keep going, Tarma.
Heavy machine gun.
Tarma and Greg. Just keep climbing up. Oh no! Jeez. Oh man, jeez. Oh, just when I got that special. Lame. That sucks. All right, Tarma, come on. You can do it.
Heavy machine gun.
Oh, you know what? I'm stupid. I should be shooting this entire time. I totally forgot this is a boss fight. I thought it was just get to the top. My bad. Man. I was like, man, how long is this tower? How big is it? You know, sometimes you just kind of miss those things. And, oh yeah, sorry, I didn't see your question. Yes, Game of the Month is always on Monday. Like I was saying earlier in the stream, I don't know if you saw it or not, but Friday is Streamer's Choice, just like it was yesterday on Tuesday. And that means I can play whatever I want. So if I feel like playing Zelda tomorrow night, or sorry, on Friday night, then I can do that. I try to stick to the schedule, but I am always free to change it. It's my stream, I can do what I want, right? But I try to keep to the schedule. I don't know what I'm going to be streaming on Friday. I haven't thought that far ahead. It might be Zelda, it might be something else. It might be a collection of both, and that's why, you know, you always want to check in on the stream. Because let's say tomorrow I play Quake 2 in VR, and then I go, oh, I'm really close to the end on Thursday night. So I could do Streamer's Choice, where I can play a little bit of the rest of the VR game, finish it in the early part of the stream, and then I can jump back into Zelda. So it all depends. Yeah, tonight I'm probably thinking maybe a little bit earlier, depending on how long it takes. I was hoping to finish around right now, around 1, but I want to beat this game. So I think the stream will end when I beat this game tonight. I can't remember if this game is very long. I know Metal Slug 2 is longer than you think it's going to be, so it's kind of a bummer, because I'm just exhausted. I'm so tired. But we're going to beat this game on stream tonight, and then we'll call it. I keep forgetting about the bombs. There we go. Yes, thank you for reminding me about my bombs. Thank you.
Heavy machine gun.
Man, what a cool game. It's very creative too. All right, Bob. Thank you so much for hanging out. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Take care. God bless, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow for VR. If not, if that's not your thing, that's okay. Like I said, tomorrow will be Quake 2 in VR, and then Friday will be Streamer's Choice, which I might play Zelda. I might do something else. Probably play Zelda. I really love that game. I really want to keep playing Zelda. But have a good night, buddy. Thank you so much for hanging out. It's been super fun. I love these streams, dude. It's just so much fun talking with everyone. Just talking video games, man. Like, we can forget about life for a while. We can forget about all the junk going on, and we can just watch and play video games. I have it just like how it is now, where I have it being fed to me audio. So it just pumps out the text-to-speech in my ear. So all of you guys have a British voice. Kind of funny. There we go. I used a bomb. Hey, finally. I used it for something. Got a little frog hanging out on that train. Aw. But yeah, that text-to-speech is perfect. I also do have a way to visually see chat in VR when I play on anything PC VR related. I actually have chat just on my wrist, so I just look at my wrist and chat will show up, and that's really cool. I love him reloading and his gun jamming. The animations in this game are just incredible. Ah. There we go. Yeah. Little Harrier, dude. I remember when the first time I saw a Harrier, I was like, that is the coolest plane. How is no one talking about these planes? I loved being a kid and like learning about like airplanes and trains and automobiles of all sorts. It's really fun watching my nephews kind of grow up and learn about that stuff. Like seeing how into monster trucks they are. Oh my gosh. I gotta figure out when, I think it's in August. I think like mid-August, which kind of sucks because we're moving. But there's a new Monster Jam video game coming out. And we're gonna definitely play that on stream. The Monster Jam games are not the best games in the world, but they're fun. A couple years ago, I randomly just got really into the Monster Jam Steel Titans game. It was like $1. It was like 99 cents on Steam. And so I bought it, and I was like, you know what? I haven't thought about monster trucks in years. So I played it, and I was really, really enjoying it. Oh, yes, thank you. Missiles. As my airplane blows up, use missiles. Shoot one off, and then totally destroy. What a bummer. Thank you for reminding me, though. What was I saying about Monster Jam? So I played the first Monster Jam. I got it for like $1 on Steam. And then like a week later, Monster Jam 2 came out on Steam. And I got it for like $20 or something. It's a budget title. And that was really fun to play. Even though the physics were kind of weird and wonky, it was really enjoyable. And now they just announced that another Monster Jam game is coming out in August, I believe. So we'll definitely be playing that. Haha! I avoided it that time. And it was really cool too because afterwards, I played those games and then maybe like a couple months later, my dad called me up and he's like, "Hey, we're all gonna go with the grandkids, my sister's kids, so my nephews. We're all gonna go to Monster Jam at the Nashville Coliseum." And I went, "Oh, this is perfect timing. I just played through those games, and man, it was so cool. Monster trucks are just so crazy, so big and massive, and you just see them, you know, do these flips in the air, these big, massive trucks do all these flips in the air and stuff, and it was just so much fun. And seeing my nephews really enjoy that was cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Machine gun.
So much slowdown. Ugh. Yeah, I was gonna say, when you eat stuff, you get fat. I love it. Yeah, a $70 garbage, man. That's such a ripoff. And half of them are unfinished, you know. Most of them are unfinished. Most of them won't be really complete for like another year or two. And then they're gonna have DLC on day one. Ugh, the gaming industry is such a mess right now. It's such a bummer. There we go. I really want to play just more indie games. But with indie games, you always got to be careful too. Some of them are good, some of them are real bad. Some of them have a lot of propaganda in them. So I have to be very careful about the types of games that I pick and play. Oh, just exploded. Poor Tommy.
Machine gun.
Yeah, it's already slow and now I'm fat. Dang it. Yeah, they really are. It's, I mean, you're actually kind of new to the channel, but I ring this bell every couple of weeks. How this industry is in such turmoil right now, such just dire straits with the AAA scene, just, you know, nickel and diming everyone. The indie scene kind of carrying the weight, but then again, there's a lot of propaganda in the indie scene. You got to be very careful with that. And how much we're so heading towards a video game crash 2.0. Like, there's so much garbage going on, and all these games are so low quality. A lot of games are low quality. And they're asking $70. They're nickel and diming, DLC, you know, day one type stuff. That I can easily see if the industry doesn't change direction, we're gonna have a video game crash like we did in the 80s within about 2 years, I'd say. You see all these studio closures. Why? Well, because AAA games take 7 years to make now, and you can't spend hundreds of millions of dollars on a product that will maybe possibly return investment, but probably not because it's still not finished after 7 years. Games are too big. Games need to slow down in scope and size down in scope. I don't need a 300-hour experience. I want a 10-hour experience that's really well crafted. Give me amazing animations, good storyline with characters that are relatable to me and the rest of the population, and you would see a huge change in the industry. Studios wouldn't be closing every other day. People wouldn't be getting fired left and right. And you wouldn't see these big, massive corporations buying up everyone as well. Yeah, there's zero reason to own any next-gen consoles. The only reason I bought a PS5 was for God of War Ragnarok. It was the only reason. And I regret that purchase because it's on PC and it plays better on PC. It took a while. It took 2 years almost? Or a year and a half or something like that, but I'd much rather play Sony games on my PC. I'd much rather play Xbox games on my PC. I'd rather just play on my PC. And again, they're asking for more money from the consumer without any added benefits. They're instead taking away benefits, right? Like even with something like Game Pass, which was a really good deal when it first came out, they're taking away that stuff slowly and slowly. And that always happens with these online services. They start out really, really good, and then sorry, hold on a second. Give me a second to compose my thought here. Online streaming services are basically, they're really, really good because that's where they get you. They get you hooked on this really, really amazing service. And then they start taking away stuff slowly by slowly, just removing all the good perks of these things until you're going, wait, you're raising the price again and again and again and again, and then there's no added benefit. You're just actually removing. So I'm paying more for less. And that's the way the economy's been going for the last 4 years, too. We're all paying way more for less of what we originally got. And yeah, Tango Gameworks, dude, that studio, I was never a big fan of Enemy Within, but it's interesting. I'm just not a big horror game fan, but Hi-Fi Rush was awesome. That was definitely on my top of the list of last year. That was in my game of the year for last year. I think it was number 10 slot, so not super crazy high. But for what it was really enjoyable. Ooh. Man. Oh my gosh. The slowdown in this game is just absolutely bonkers. Yep. You should join the Discord because that is the question of the week. Physical or digital, which do you prefer? I haven't posted it yet, unfortunately. I just didn't have time to write my response, but that is the question of this week, and I will be posting it tomorrow in the Discord. But yeah, it is very different on PC though, and again, this is something that I'll get more into in that discussion. I don't want to give away my answer just yet, but it's funny because I actually was in the newspaper for that. Back when I owned my game store, the newspaper contacted me and said, hey, we want to do an article about your store and the discussion about physical versus digital video games, because at the time, digital video games were just starting to become a thing. Digital purchasing on consoles. And so there was a lot of people who didn't really understand what that meant, why it was good or bad. And so they asked me, like, hey, we want to do an article. We'll do a photo shoot with you in the newspaper at your store. And I was like, sure, absolutely. That sounds awesome. So I did that, and it's pretty interesting. There we go. That laser's weird. Ah, dang it. What happened in my store? Well, the lease is starting to come up, and the reason why I didn't renew the lease was because GameStop came in across the street, like literally across the street. On the other side of the street, even though we were an established shop for almost 15, 20 years, and GameStop put in a GameStop right across the street from my store, even though they had 3 stores in a 5-mile radius already. So they basically just put a store in to shut me out and to close down my business. So there's an advertisement to never shop at GameStop. Ever. For any reason. And yeah, it was just a bad situation. But I mean, that was so long ago too, I don't really care at this point. But it sucked. It was not by my own choosing. We just didn't have the money to continue going after GameStop like just took all our business. We kind of forced our hand to shut down. Stole all the customers and all that fun stuff, which, yeah, you know, it happens. Again, not angry or bitter at this point, just something that happened that sucked. There we go. I was like, oh dude, that thing's gonna come and run me over? Hey, we got a piggy out of it. Dude, that guy just like came at me. He wanted me dead. Yep. Yes, exactly that. Those corporations don't care about anyone but how much money can we make. And that's the thing too, is like you'll see a lot of people, like it wouldn't be so bad. Like there's nothing wrong with making money. There's nothing wrong with being a business. That's how life works, right? But it's when that greed replaces common sense, where all you're caring about is how much money can we get? And oh, we can get this amount of money, but if we screw over these people, we can get even more. Well, shoot, more money is better always. And that's the real issue, is the love of money is the root of all evil. Oh man, I almost quit out for a second, and that would have been real bad. I would have been bummed out. Oh, I missed that R. Dang it. I don't even know what that R does.
Heavy machine gun.
Ooh, ah. There we go. Got another one. Can we get a piggy? No, no pig in this one. Bummer. But yeah, it's been really interesting playing all these old games and having this conversation. I love these conversations because it's just so unique, and I can always get other people's point of view on digital versus physical copies and stuff like that. So I really want to pose that question in the Discord. It's just, unfortunately, I just did not have time to to write my answer. Ah! Dang it. Oh well. No amount of money will help you when you're dead. Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely 100% true. You can't take it with you. It's all about how you live your life and how you treated others. Oh, I don't remember this part. I don't remember these monsters. I remember the zombies, or the mummies. I remember getting fat. I remember the tower with the mummies, but I really don't remember these monsters. Ooh, this is weird. This is gross. There we go.
Heavy machine gun.
Yeah, give me my heavy machine gun. Dang it. You gotta be careful. They're gonna explode on me. That's what's happening. That's why I'm dying. Whew. And I can't, like, action anything here on this. I don't know what this down arrow box thing is. Oh my gosh. That's okay. It's so weird because there's like just no music. It's like ambiance almost. It's such a change. Yeah. Oh man, I forgot to put credits in. I almost lost the game. Yeah, they're supposed to be like a stand-in for Nazis, for sure. Like there's no qualm about that. They're supposed to be like a stand-in for Nazis, but they are definitely not, because they don't use the swastika. Hitler's not in the game or anything. But it's that global organization that's supposed to be bad.
Heavy machine gun.
I want to get out of this area, man. I don't like this area. Some submersible. What is it? Okay, like a hovercraft. Yeah, give me that heavy machine gun. Should probably just die so that I get my heavy machine gun again. I didn't want to die, but I was just saying, or at least bombs, right? Ah, man, dude. Trying to dodge that's really hard.
Heavy machine gun.
Yeah. Seriously, it's not a great level. I'm not a fan of it. I honestly don't remember this level at all. Ooh, okay, at least I got my bombs off that time. There we go. Oh, I'm running out of water. Man, last night, I was feeling it in my throat. My throat was so scratchy by the end of the stream. And then today too, for work, I was streaming, and I was just like, dude, my throat is like just so dry and scratchy. Come on, there we go.
Machine gun.
Ooh, ah. Ah, dang it, dude. Yeah, it's funny because it's like, who is playing this game in the arcade and spending, dude, how many dollars are you spending to finish this game? Like, easily 15 to 20. Easily. If not more, if you kind of suck like me. But man, nothing compares to something like this. Look at how cool this freaking looks. It might not run well, but it looks amazing. That is probably my favorite part of the entire game. This weird wavy bridge. Jeez. I'm bummed that I didn't play Metal Slug X instead. I should have, even if, well, we couldn't, right? That was the thing. We couldn't. It wouldn't add the quarters in. Ah, dang it. Ah, ha, 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 ha. There we go. Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Can I pick up that? Yes.
Machine gun.
It's just a heavy machine gun. That's all it is. Ah! Thank you. Ah, dang it.
Heavy machine gun.
Let's just keep going, keep going, keep going. Come on, Tarma, you can do it. Let's murder all of these guys.
Heavy machine gun.
Man. No, he's following me. Turn around.
Thank you. Heavy machine gun.
Dharma, the mercenary. Dang it.
Machine gun.
Man. I can't remember how much better Metal Slug 3 plays. I don't remember much of it. But I really hope it plays better than this. just a little bit better. I hope it plays a little bit better than this. There we go. Oh man.
Heavy machine gun.
Oh, the aliens. Right. I remember how this game ends now. Soon as I saw those things, it unlocked all the memories. And it would be it would be simpler with another person, but at the same time, it wouldn't be, because there's so much stuff going on, you kind of forget about it. Like where you are in the game, like you kind of forget where your character is. I like how they have guns.
Thank you.
Thank you. Can I get up there? Yes, I can.
Thank you. Heavy machine gun.
Okay, got 10 points for a boot. Man, those bombs are super helpful. I just kind of forget that I have them. But now, I'm trying to use them more, because they definitely help. Whoa.
Heavy machine gun. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, there we go. We got more bombs. Nice.
Thank you. Shotgun.
The shotgun's not that great.
Thank you.
There we go. Come on. Whew. Dang it. I would love to. That would be phenomenal. I would love to voice act. I mean, I do it for work. That was the whole reason I started the podcast. If you listen to the first few episodes of the podcast, I say the whole reason I'm doing this podcast is to prepare for voice acting for work. So do video production and voice acting for work for videos that we produce. But then I started just going, you know what? I just kind of like doing podcasting. I've had a few podcasts before, but I just didn't have anyone to do it with. And I just said, screw it. I'm just going to do it again, but I'll just do it on my own. And that's why my podcast is just me solo, because I just didn't have anyone to podcast with. And then I was like, I could just do this by myself. And it just helps me be better at voice acting. So I built a whole video or an audio booth in our house in 2019 just for voice acting in the podcast. But I've never done it professionally besides for work. We're a family company, so it's not that big a deal, but not professionally for other people. But I've had people approach me for it. Nothing ever came of it, which was a bummer. But at work, I've had people come up to me from other companies and say, do you do voice acting? We would love to hire you for a series of videos that we want to produce. I said, sure. And I just never heard back from them. It sounds like my entire acting career, too. That never really took off. I was in a couple TV shows, but nothing ever really took off. But it was fun, man. That stuff was a blast. Come on, man. Just kill these guys. Let me move forward. Thank you. Okay, we're at... Okay, good. Huh, that was getting tiresome. All right, we're back outside. Well, he's dead. And they're gonna beam up. Oh, apparently he's not dead. All right. Dang it. Just wasted all my bombs. Let's just focus on the main mothership, I guess. Dang it. I was trying to throw bombs and I hit the wrong button. Right. Credits. Credits, Ryan.
Heavy machine gun.
Ah, good. Let's get up here. Man. Dude, this game is just brutal on the killing. The one-hit kills, man, they mess you up, dude. See, that's something that they could do. If they ever remade this,
Heavy machine gun.
they could add mechanics to allow you to parry, kind of like in Cuphead. Like a parry mechanic would solve so many quarter-munching issues so that it gives you a way to get out of predicaments, but also doesn't make it super easy. You have to be good. You have to learn how to get really good at the game. There we go. I like how he's not even facing it. He's not even standing near it. Okay, now we got the mothership. Ah. Dang, dude. All right, come on. Come on.
Machine gun.
Yeah, give me that heavy machine gun, man. Don't lose it. Not yet. Not until we're all done. Ah, there it is. Dang it. I knew I was going to die on that one. Whew. Dang, dude. Oh, yeah, the heavy machine gun is fantastic, but there's not a whole lot that we can get. We don't get it a whole lot. I think it's after X amount of lives that you continue. Or we can get into this. We can get into the metal slug. Oh, and it already lost it, dude. That's incredibly disappointing.
Heavy machine gun.
Yes. Give me my heavy machine gun. Run. Run, Ryan. Dang it. It's so close. Yeah? No. I thought that was it for a second. It seemed like everyone just kind of stopped shooting. That was not it. There we go. I like how he's just tired. I love the Independence Day reference. That's great. Yeah, it's a rough level. In the arcade, I don't understand how people could play this game in an arcade. Yay!
You lose.
Yes. Mission complete. Mission all over. 34 continues. 1 recaptured prisoner. All right, let's put my name in. Let's spell it right this time. There we go. Yeah. That was a long one. The Metal Solid games do go on for a lot longer than you think. Like, by the time the game is about on its third act, you're like, okay, I'm done. I'm ready to be finished with this game. Well, man, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. We played through all of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1 in the arcade, Simpsons in the arcade, and Metal Slug 2. So next time we do retro game nights, I think we'll probably play through Metal Slug 3. We'll just kind of continue that. I think that will be the capper for the evening. I think that's kind of fun, doing a Metal Slug game at the end of every retro game night. But that's going to do it for me. I've got a long day ahead of me tomorrow as well. Shakti, thank you so much for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. I hope you had a good time. It's always fun talking to you. Thank you so much for joining the channel. And I'll be back tomorrow night for virtual reality, or what I call virtual insanity. That's the name of the show. We'll be playing through Quake 2. We started in it. I was having a little bit of a rough time with Quake 2, so we'll see how far I get. But that's going to do it for me. You can always join the Discord if you want to. It is right over there. And then also the calendar as well. You can screenshot that if you want to, or you can go to the Game or Die website that will have that calendar on one of the posts. But that's the schedule for the streaming. Anyways, that's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Ryan Moore. You can always check out my stuff at gameordie.net. See you tomorrow. All right. Tomorrow at 11 p.m. Central, we'll play some more games. All right. See ya. Bye.